Hello everyone. So up until now, we've always relied on forcings from the NLDAS. NLDAS is the North American Land Data Simulation System. These forcings have been used to drive hydrological models, which are also responsible for hydraulic modeling as well, for producing flood inundation maps. And to get this data set, this NLDAS data, there have been various ways people try to retrieve this. Basically, going to NLDAS website and then downloading this data. The challenge is that when users try to get this data set from their own watershed or their own point, it becomes challenge most time, right? So here I've developed a tool, and this tool is called the Rapid Forcing Retrieval Web tool. And you can see those two have been published on HydroShare. So basically, you could just go on HydroShare right now and enter the URL, and then you can have access to this tool. So here it describes, I give a brief abstract of this tool, how this tool works, and the case study of this tool use. And then you could download the metadata of the tool as well and then use it. So in between, I have the Rapid Forcing Retrieval tool. I also have the metadata tool page, which have also been published on HydroShare. So you could download the HydroShare, you could README file, and then you could get hands-on how this tool operate. Now I want to show you this Rapid Forcing Retrieval. So basically, if you go to HydroShare and you see this tab, you could launch the app. So you click on Open Web App, and when you do that, it's going to load the Rapid Forcing Retrieval tool for you. This tool was developed in Google Earth Engine, and the tool is publicly available, so you don't need to have an account to be able to use this. All you need is a web browser. And then on the left panel of this tool, we have the description of this tool, where the data source comes from, which is NLDAS. And then we also have a case study of how you could use the tool, basically describing how you could go from loading the various gauges and the watersheds, the basins, and then you could use that, or you could digitize your own. And when you digitize your own copy, your own watershed, then you could select your start date and end date. So you could do this. So giving users the flexibility to choose shorter periods, right? So you could choose a shorter period, or you could choose a longer period, and then you could try to extract the forcing for your area of study. And we have the various forcings you could extract. So we have the potential evaporation, we have the precipitation, which is in hourly, we have the temperature, we have the specific humidity, we have the surface pressure, convective fraction, horizontal wind, vertical wind, potential energy, long wave radiation, short wave radiation. So these forcings are all retrieved at the hourly rate, right? So you could helps you to model at an hourly rate. And we also have this the part of the app which helps you to get the data as a TIFF, so you could get the mean of a particular location, a particular temporal period. You could get the mean, and you could also get it as a CSV. So I'm going to run a demo and show you how it works here. But before I proceed, I want to thank my advisor, Jingong Lee. I also want to thank the quality director for helping me in hosting this app, and also for doing the review of this app. I also want to thank Fred Ogden, who was my Summer Institute coordinator. I want to thank Jonathan Frame. And as you can see, I also give credit to Google for providing the platform here. So just to quickly show you how this app works, and to mention other areas, we also have the part of the app which helps you to refresh the app. But I'm going to show you how it works. So basically, users can go ahead and load the operational USGS gauges. So these are the current USGS gauges in the US that are operational. And I need to mention to you that these forcings for now for the US region. So these forcings, the NLDAS is basically, as you can see in the panel here, is basically for the US. We also have other forcings, which is global. For now, we're building this app using for the focus in the US, so the data can only be retrieved for the US as a country, a CONUS. So we are going to try to improve this app in the future by capturing other locations around the world, right? So here, like I mentioned earlier, so we start by selecting either the UHS gauges or the HUCs, right? The hydrological unit codes, which are the watersheds of various scales. So when we do that, so we could see these operational UHS gauges that are currently available, and we could use them to extract the forcings, or we could as well use the Kame basins, right? So the newer have this Kame basins. So the Kame basins are basins in the US that have natural flow. They are not disturbed. They are not dammed. So it means the water here system is flow, and they're very good for modeling discharge. If you want to model discharge in this watersheds, you want to use the Kame basins if you want to avoid distortions, you want to avoid impediments. So you want to use the Kame basins. We also have other basins that are provided by the newer, right? So for example, we have the Hawk one. So when I load the Hawk one, so we could see the Hawk one is around the north eastern part, right, of the US. So you can see the Hawk one, and then most research right now, the current next gen being developed by the newer is for now is starting focusing on the Hawk one. So we could also see other areas, right? And then we could have the Hawk 2, right? So we have the Hawk 2, and we'll see the Hawk 2 is for the entire US. Yeah, it's trying to load. So we see the Hawk 2 there in blue, light blue. And then I can turn it off, or you could have it on if you want. Then we'll also have the Hawk 4, right? And this is the Hawk 4. And then we also have the Hawk 6, which is final scale watershed. And then we have the Hawk 8. We have the Hawk 10. We have the Hawk 12, right? And we also included the DEM. So this is the 10-meter net. So these DEM basically just give you an overview, help you to probably you want to be able to get see where those hogs are located, the relationship with the topography of the landscape. So you could use that. And to run a demo of how, and then we'll have the next set of tools. These tools basically what these tools help you to do, the next set of tools is to digitize. So say you don't want to use these hogs, or you want to digitize your own area of study, so you could basically go in here and digitize. So for example, I might want to just average around the polygon, so I might want to come down here, so and then digitize this particular watershed of interest, and then I could retrieve the forcing there. So you could use the polygon, or you could use the rectangle one. So whichever one works for you, you could use it, and then we have it there, right? So I'm going to turn off this layer so we could see the polygon, the area we've digitized. And then with this, we can go ahead and select our date range. So this app defaults to the end date to be the current date, which is today is the 4th of October 2022. And then, you know, right, so given at least we have about a week or 2 weeks interval, right? So we could use this, and then we could extract forcings between 20th of September 2022 to October 4th, which is today. And then these forcings retrieving at the hourly rate. So if I have selected my watershed area, so what I need to do right now is we just basically is to select which forcing you want to extract, right? I want to extract precipitation, so I select precipitation, and what it does for me is begin to compute the precipitation for me. So it shows me, it loads the average precipitation map on the map, and we could export this as a TIFF file, right? Or we could you could go ahead first and check it as a CSV. So when I click that, I could download it as a CSV, and you could get it as an SVG or PNG, and then I could show it in the folder where this is located, right? So I have this precipitation. Then the next thing I need to do is basically to load my precipitation, the CSV file. So I open it, and then we could see the date. So it started from 20th of September 2022 up to today's current date. Let me see. Yeah, so we have uh, yeah. Uh, my computer is getting slow. All right. So here we have this precipitation. So you could download as many others possible you want to download, and then you could also get the TIFF file. So when I click on this TIFF file, I can download this. Give you the mean total precipitation, and then we could extract it and then uh, visualize it in ArcGIS. Any ArcGIS software could be ArcGIS Pro, QGIS, or ArcMap. So we could use that to do that. Another thing to mention is that, and then when you're done, you could always select new if you want to digitize based on, let's say it's a regular rectangle polygon. So I can pick it. The moment I pick it, it clears the previous one and allow you to draw a new one, and then gives you the shape, and then you could as well get here I'm trying to this time get the potential evaporation, and then you could see the potential evaporation. You could extract the potential evaporation, and then yeah, so you could also pick the point. So when I pick a point and say I want to get the USGS, one of the USGS gauge, right? So I could go ahead. So I'm interested in this gauge, so I could go ahead and place my point on that gauge, and hula. Then I could get the precipitation, I could get the temperature, and then I could extract this. I could extract this temperature and use it for my analysis. So one cool thing is you could always go back, you could always refresh. When you refresh it, it's going to recenter your map, clear the panel, and then you're good to go. So I hope you can use this, and I hope let me know if you have any question regarding the rapid forcing retrieval, and I'll be happy to take your question. Once again, thank you to the COASI and also the NOAA Office of Water Prediction for the support, and also my colleagues, and thank everyone. So I hope you're happy to use this. Thank you for listening.